The money in your bank account is a highly engineered lie designed to steal your heartbeat. Every dollar you save mathematically guarantees your absolute ruin. The system is erasing your life while you sleep. Watch until the end to discover the only key out of this invisible cage. Picture the exact moment your childhood officially dies. You are 18 years old. Your lungs are heavy with the stifling smell of vaporized grease. Your heels throb endlessly from standing on unforgiving kitchen floor tiles, and the relentless mechanical hum of the fryolator is the only soundtrack to the absolute prime hours of your youth slipping away. You are trading the irreplaceable, golden sands of your time, flipping perfectly symmetrical pucks of frozen meat just to justify your existence on this planet. But in your mind, you are untouchable. You have been obsessively running the math every single night before falling into an exhausted sleep. $10 an hour, 200 agonizing hours, $2,000. In your 18-year-old imagination, you are a titan of industry. You are a modern-day Rockefeller pacing in cheap, non-slip shoes. Then comes the envelope. You tear it open with trembling hands, desperate for the validation of your bleeding feet, but your heart abruptly plunges into your stomach like a lead weight dropped down a bottomless elevator shaft. The ink on the paper stares back at you with cold, mocking indifference. $1,456. You blink, your vision blurring as you scan the incomprehensible lines of corporate and government deductions, uttering a desperate whisper that echoes the tragic initiation of every working-class soul. Who the hell is FICA, and why is he stealing my life? That nauseating drop in your gut? That sheer, unadulterated outrage mingling with absolute, suffocating helplessness? That is not just adolescent disappointment. That is the precise moment you wake up from the American dream. That is the violent, heartbreaking realization that you have been born at the absolute bottom of a ruthlessly rigged game, forced to play by rules that were deliberately and maliciously hidden from you. You are stumbling blindfolded through a highly engineered financial matrix designed specifically to harvest your labor and keep you poor. The Wealth Ladder 6 welcomes you to the awakening, my friends. If you have ever felt that cold, crushing realization, and if you are completely done being collateral damage in an economic machine built to extract your precious life energy, please hit that subscribe button right now. Your subscription is the vital energy that supports this channel, giving us the powerful motivation to keep creating these deeply revealing videos for you in the future. The illusion ends tonight. Today, I am stepping in as your personal financial astrophysicist, and together, we are going to violently tear down the cosmic fabric of money. We are going to decode the entire predatory system, piece by agonizing piece, so you can finally see the invisible bars of your own cage. We are going to look at the gravitational forces that keep you pinned to the floor, from the silent erosion of your purchasing power to the psychological warfare waged against your bank account. The universe of money operates on unbreakable, ruthless laws of physics. If you do not intimately understand these forces, you will always be crushed by their gravity. It is time to stop being the coal shoveled into the engine of society, and time to become the architect of your own freedom. To understand the invisible bars of this cage, we must first look closely at the very paper you are bleeding for. We are taught from birth to view money as a concrete, unchanging measure of value, much like a ruler measures an inch or a scale measures a pound. But this is the grandest deception of the modern age. The dollars in your bank account are not a reliable store of value. They are a melting block of ice resting in the palm of your hand. You are trading the most terrifyingly finite resource in the universe: your heartbeat, your youth, your irreplaceable time on this earth, for a currency that a handful of unelected strangers can print by the trillions with a simple keystroke on a computer. This is not just economics. This is daylight robbery dressed up in the complex, impenetrable jargon of monetary policy. When you hear the word inflation, you probably think of it as a natural phenomenon, like the weather, something inevitable that just happens to the economy. It is not. Inflation is a highly engineered, silent vacuum siphoning the purchasing power out of your pocket and transferring it directly to the top of the financial food chain. It is a cosmic black hole that stretches your hard-earned wages until they spaghettify into worthlessness. Think about the profound tragedy of the traditional saver. You deny yourself pleasures, you work the brutal overtime, and you dutifully lock your money away in a savings account yielding a fraction of a percent, genuinely believing you are doing the responsible thing. Meanwhile, the cost of housing, food, and energy compounds at a terrifying rate. You are running on a treadmill that is steadily accelerating, wondering why your lungs are burning, but the horizon is only getting further away. The system is brutally designed to punish those who hoard currency. The realization that saving fiat money is a guaranteed mathematical loss is terrifying, but it is the necessary pain of ripping off the blindfold. You cannot win a game if you do not realize the scorekeeper is actively erasing your points while you sleep. Your life energy is being diluted. Every time the money supply expands, the hours you spent suffering in front of that friolator or staring at that cubicle wall are retroactively devalued. You are essentially working for a corporation that pays you in shares, while endlessly issuing new shares to themselves, diluting your ownership of your own life to absolute zero. Yet, the silent erosion of your purchasing power is only the quietest weapon in an arsenal designed to keep you permanently grounded. The financial matrix does not just steal your wealth from the top down, it simultaneously wages a brilliant, relentless psychological war against you from the bottom up. We live in a society that has weaponized our deepest human insecurities, transforming our innate desire for love, status, and belonging into an endless cycle of mindless consumption. You are bombarded by thousands of carefully calibrated advertisements every single day, all whispering the exact same toxic lie. You are not enough, but this product will finally make you whole. So, what do? We attempt to purchase self-esteem with money we do not even have. We sign away our futures for depreciating assets made of plastic and glass, desperate to project an illusion of success to strangers who are entirely consumed by their own financial misery. Debt is the localized gravitational anomaly of the middle class. It is a massive, crushing weight that ensures you can never achieve escape velocity. When you sign that 60-month auto loan for a car you cannot actually afford, you are not just buying a vehicle. You are literally selling 5 years of your future Tuesdays. You are legally binding your future self to a desk, forcing a slightly older, more tired version of you to trade their precious time to pay for the dopamine hit the younger you experienced for a fleeting moment in a dealership showroom. Living paycheck to paycheck under the shadow of consumer debt is not just a math problem, it is a profound emotional trauma. It is the cold sweat at 3 in the morning. It is the suffocating tightness in your chest when the check engine light illuminates on the dashboard. The matrix thrives on this perpetual anxiety. A terrified, debt-burdened population is a compliant workforce. When you are drowning in monthly payments, you cannot negotiate your salary. You cannot walk away from a toxic boss. And you certainly cannot take the monumental risks required to build true, generational wealth. You become a captive prisoner to the next payday, perpetually chained to the very machine that is slowly grinding your spirit to dust. They have convinced you to willingly forge your own shackles out of credit cards, decorating your cell with premium subscriptions so you never notice the door is locked. Breaking free from this suffocating planetary gravity requires a fundamental, almost violent shift in how you perceive the entire universe of value. You have to stop viewing money as a tool to buy things and start viewing money as the ultimate tool to buy back your time. This is the great alchemy of the wealthy. While the poor and the middle class trade their finite time for depreciating liabilities, the architects of wealth trade their money to acquire income-producing assets. If you want to escape the matrix, you must become ruthlessly obsessed with owning the printing press rather than merely scrambling for the paper it spits out. An asset is not your primary residence, and it is certainly not the luxury watch ticking on your wrist. In the raw physics of wealth, an asset is a relentless, tireless employee that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without ever asking for a sick day, a vacation, or a raise. It is a piece of real estate generating rent while you sleep. It is a slice of a profitable business producing dividends while you eat. It is the intellectual property you create, or the irreplaceable skills you master, that compound in value over decades. True wealth is not defined by the exotic leather of your car seats. It is defined entirely by the ratio of your passive income to your living expenses. The moment your assets generate enough gravity to pull in more cash than you need to survive, you experience a financial singularity. You cross the event horizon of economic freedom. Your survival is no longer inextricably tethered to your physical labor. You finally realize that compound interest is not just a mathematical formula in a dusty banking textbook. It is the most powerful cosmic force in the human experience. When you force your money to have babies, and then force those babies to go to work for you, you are no longer the coal being shoveled into the roaring furnace of society. You become the engine itself, dictating your own speed, your own direction, and your own ultimate destiny. Knowing the mechanics of this universe, however, means absolutely nothing if you refuse to walk out to the launch pad and actually build the rocket ship. The truth is, the path out of the financial matrix is not glamorous, and it is entirely devoid of the instant gratification our modern culture has programmed us to crave. It requires a profound, stoic willingness to look radically different from everyone else around you. It requires you to brutally slash your expenses, to live far below your means, and to endure the temporary misunderstanding of your peers who will mock your frugality while they secretly drown in their own luxury-branded misery. This is not a message of deprivation. It is a message of strategic, calculated warfare. You are temporarily retreating from the battlefield of consumerism so you can amass an army of capital. Every dollar you refuse to spend on fleeting entertainment is a soldier you are deploying to fight for your future sovereignty. Imagine the profound, unshakable peace that washes over you when you finally possess what we call FU money. Imagine the psychological armor of walking into a room knowing that no employer, no economic downturn, and no unexpected emergency can dictate your survival. That level of absolute freedom fundamentally alters the chemistry of your brain. You speak differently. You walk differently. You are no longer reacting to a life manufactured for you by unseen forces. You are deliberately constructing your reality from the ground up. The awakening is painful, but remaining asleep is a tragedy I will not allow you to endure. You now know the rules of the rigged game, and you recognize the gravitational forces conspiring against you. The blueprint is in your hands, and the choice is entirely yours. You can close this video, go back to sleep, and wake up 20 years from now with the exact same bleeding feet and the exact same empty bank account. Or you can make the terrifying, glorious decision today to rewrite your financial DNA, defy the gravity of your circumstances, and step into the sunlight as the absolute master of your own time. The financial system is not broken. It is functioning exactly as it was designed, to extract your most precious resource, time, and exchange it for a currency that actively evaporates in value. You are born into a matrix where inflation silently steals your purchasing power and consumerism tempts you into forging your own chains out of debt. Every depreciating liability you finance binds your future self to a desk, sacrificing tomorrow's freedom for today's fleeting dopamine hit. But understanding this brutal reality is the first step toward true liberation. Escaping this engineered gravity requires a radical shift in perspective. Money is not a ticket to buy status symbols. It is the ultimate tool to buy back your life. By choosing to step off the treadmill of mindless consumption, you stop trading your irreplaceable heartbeat for paper and start converting your income into assets. These assets, whether real estate, equities, or intellectual property, become an army of tireless workers generating wealth while you sleep. The journey demands ruthless discipline, stoic frugality, and the courage to look entirely different from a society drowning in luxury-branded misery. Building this escape velocity is not about deprivation. It is a calculated war for your sovereignty. When your passive income eventually eclipses your living expenses, you achieve the ultimate financial singularity. You no longer work for survival. You dictate your own destiny. The blueprint is laid out before you. You must decide whether to remain a pawn in a rigged game or to become the architect of your absolute freedom. True wealth is not measured by the accumulation of material possessions, but by the absolute ownership of your own time. The modern economic machine thrives on your financial illiteracy and your desire for instant gratification. To win, you must realize that every dollar spent on a depreciating liability is a surrender of your future time, while every dollar invested into an income-producing asset is a permanent step toward total independence. Audit your cash flow. Track every single dollar you spend this month. Identify the leakages, unused subscriptions, excessive dining out, and impulse purchases that are secretly funding the matrix instead of your freedom. Starve the debt. Immediately stop financing consumer goods. If you cannot buy it in cash, you cannot afford it. Aggressively pay down high-interest auto loans and credit cards to stop selling your future days to banks. Draft your asset army. Redirect the money saved from slashing your lifestyle expenses directly into income-producing assets. Whether it is index funds, dividend stocks, or building a side business, make investing your non-negotiable primary bill. Embrace strategic frugality. Stop trying to impress deeply indebted strangers. Be perfectly content driving an older car and living below your means while you silently build your unshakable fortress of capital. What is one unnecessary expense you are willing to cut out today to start buying back your future freedom? Please kindly share your thoughts in the comments section below so we can all learn from each other's perspectives and build a community of financial independence. If you found value in this message, please subscribe to the channel to support our work and stay tuned for more powerful content.